What's up, IG? We're going live on TikTok right now. Just letting it load a little bit. Getting some people in first, really quick. Cool. It's connected. What's up, Adrian? How you doing, man? I just started. What?
It's not showing up.
It should.
Like I even subscribe to have you keep notifications. I got nothing.
Do you want to refresh really quick? It shows excellent health for me then on YouTube. I know there's always like a 30-second delay, so yeah. Okay.
It's just not showing your.
Yep. Are you heading up?
Huh?
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's do what we do. Yep, Adrian. So I'm live on YouTube. So if you want to catch the replay, you could always catch the replay on the YouTube side of things. But I thought I'd just jump in here on IG too. Obviously, so you guys don't have the nice little layout and everything that's going on over here. That's on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? How are you guys doing? We are here. We are ready. We are back for another amazing episode of Mindset Monday. We're on week 3. As you guys know, I said in preparation for our anniversary of the Secret Society, I decided to go ahead and do Mindset Monday again, which has been asked for a lot, but more importantly, bringing it back for the entire month. And it's a series in a sense. It's not just a random kind of topic, which we always do good topics, but it's not just any random topic. This time I actually decided to do a little bit of something more that would make sense to where you're attending every single one. You're kind of learning and you're getting a little bit from each that you're going. Adds up at the end. You'll see when it makes sense for those that have been joining. Thank you for those that have been joining the Mindset Monday calls every single week. Same thing. Thank you guys that are watching the replay as well. Thank you very much. I see you guys on the replay. I see when you comment on the replays, it goes straight to my notification. So thank you for that for sure. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the topic of today is your next move matters more than your last one. Your next move matters more than your last one. And as I've been doing this month, again, it's not just I want to do like a random speech here. It's more of actually giving you guys something to take, something that you could use. Last week we did the 21 points, top 3, top 5, things of that nature. And right now I'm going to talk to you about the 3 R's. So it's something that's really going to help you through this matter, going through this and be able to take this with you and apply it in your day-to-day life, right? The 3R reset is what it's called. So you can start putting that on your notes. 3R reset: recognize, regulate, and respond. Again, that is recognize, regulate, and respond. Today I want to talk to you about something, right, that I think every person listening has dealt with. So this should be super relatable to everybody. I don't care if you're a trader. I don't care if you're building a business. I don't care if you're working on health, your marriage, your finances, your career. At some point, something is going to go wrong. At some point, something is going to go wrong. You're going to lose. No matter how motivational we are and everything, it's inevitable. It's part of life. You're going to lose. You're going to get rejected. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to have a day that's just completely off. You're going to do something you knew you probably shouldn't have done. And it happens. Life happens. It happens. Shit happens. We already know. Mistakes usually isn't what destroys people, though. Mistakes isn't what destroys people. It is what they do after the mistake. Think about that. One bad trade usually doesn't blow your account, right? One bad trade isn't what blows your account. It's the revenge trading you do after you lost a trade. The second revenge trade. Then the increasing in the contract size because you're going to make it all back in one move, right? It's one person telling you no that usually isn't that what kills your business, right? It's not really like it's not that one no. It's not that one person that says, no, thanks, I'm not interested in your product, I'm not interested in your services. That doesn't kill your business. It's allowing that one person that said no to change how you show up for the next 10 people. missing one workout isn't going to destroy your complete progress, right? It's saying, well, I already screwed up today, so I'm just going to start over Monday. And it's barely Monday, guys. Like, it's barely Monday. One bad meal turns it into a bad day. One bad day becomes a bad weekend. One bad weekend becomes, I'll start next month. That's what I want to train on today, guys. Because mentally strong people aren't people who never screw up. Okay? Mentally strong people aren't people who never screw up. They're not the people that never lose. They're not the people who never get emotional. They're not walking around like some damn robot where nothing affects them. The difference is here, and this you definitely want to be able to pay attention to this part I'm saying right now. The difference here, they know how to recover faster. They know how to stop one bad moment into becoming a bad hour, a bad day, a bad week, sometimes even a bad year. So today I'm going to give you an actual system that I really like. Something you can use for trading, for business, for your personal life. And again, I call it the 3R reset. Recognize, regulate, respond. Recognize, regulate, respond. The 3 R's. Driving some R's in the chat. Make sure everybody's following me here. The 3 R's. And by the end of this call, I want you to understand how to use all 3 of these. Okay? So the first part, the real damage, happens after the event. We need to understand that first before we go through the 3 R's. The real damage happens after the event. Here's something we need to understand first, okay? And then there's a story we create what happens after. Those are 2 completely different things. Let's use trading as an example, right? You take your setup, it fits your plan, you execute correctly, and you hit stop loss. Happens, right? What actually happened? You took a losing trade. That's it. That's it. That's the event. No more. But then your brain starts talking, right? I knew I shouldn't have taken that. I'm trading like shit. Maybe my strategy doesn't work. I got to get my money back. I can't end the day in red. What if I lose the next one too? And now watch what happened. The trade ended 5 minutes ago, guys. But you're still in that trade mentally. The trade's gone. The market is already in a complete different candle, complete different setup, but mentally you're still stuck 10 candles behind. And that is dangerous because now the next decision isn't going to be made off your strategy, variant strategy, hopefully. It's being made off the emotions of the previous decision. And we spoke about this last week, right? That isn't just trading. And this doesn't apply only for trading. Maybe you're in sales. You hit the phones, you knock the doors, you're in sales. Somebody basically tells you to fuck off at this point, right? When you're in sales. That's happened, right? If you, those that are in sales, drop me a 1 in the chat, right? We already know how that goes. I'm still in sales myself now and then for some products and services that I offer outside of trading, right? So we know how that feels. What happened? One person said no. That's the event. But what does your mind start doing? It turns into people aren't interested. Nobody has the money right now. This isn't working. I'm terrible at this. I don't know how to sell. Maybe you post something and nobody responds. You're posting on social media, not even a like. Suddenly now you're questioning everything. Is the product good? Is the service good? Am I good? Everything's going to get questioned. Maybe you mess something up at home. You have an argument. You have a financial decision you regret. The event happens once. Once. But you replay them 50 times. I'm not saying the word to make sure I don't get banned over here. You replay that 50 times in your head. And sometimes the replay hurts us more than the actual event. If you guys are following me, drop me in the chat. If you understand what I'm actually saying, if you truly understand, not that you're hearing me, not that you're listening to me, but you're actually hearing me right now. A lot of times, that no from a client, that no from a prospect, that no for the product, that one stop loss, we get hurt a little bit, but a lot of times it hurts us so much more what we do in our head that happens after. And that's what brings me to step one of the 3 R's, right? The first R is recognize. You need to recognize what actually happened. Not what you think it means, not what you're afraid it might means, not what your emotions are telling you what it means. What actually happened? What I want from you guys is I want you to learn to ask yourselves a simple question. Write this down, please. This is the simplest question that you're going to ask yourself. Okay? What are the facts? That's it. What are the facts? The receipt. What are the facts? That question can save you from making some really stupid decisions. What are the facts? I lost one trade. I hit stop loss. Okay. That's the opening question right there. Do you see how that right away stops everything else? Lost one trade, stop loss. Okay. Did you break your rules? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then maybe nothing needs to be changed. Sometimes good trades lose. It happens. That's trading. If you did break your rules, okay, identify the rule that you broke. That's actual useful information. But notice what we didn't do. We didn't say I'm a terrible trader because this isn't a fact. We didn't say I'm going to blow my account because this isn't a fact. We didn't say the market's out against me. Definitely not a fact. We separated reality from emotion. Do the same thing in business. Nobody joined today. Nobody signed up to your services. Nobody bought none of your products. Okay, that's a fact. How many people did you talk to? 2? Well, then maybe the problem isn't the opportunity. Maybe because you only talked to 2 damn people. You see the difference? Facts gives you something to work with. Stories usually give you something to worry about. Let me say that again, just to make sure everybody really understood that one right here. Facts give you something to work with. Stories give you something to worry about. And we waste an incredible amount of time, an incredible amount of energy fighting situations that only exist inside of our own interpretation, in our own head. So when something goes wrong this week, before you react and you start going down that rabbit hole that nobody wants to be in, just ask yourself, what actually happened? What are the facts? Separate the event from the meaning you are trying to attach to it. That R is the first one. We recognize. Okay? So the first R is recognize. What's that question that you're asking yourselves? What are the facts? What just actually happened? What are the facts? And you identify it. Cool? Everybody's good? All right, let's keep on going. Now, step 2. Now that we've recognized, now we're going to regulate. Step 2 is regulate. This one's extremely important, guys. Extremely, extremely important. Because sometimes you can know exactly what happened and it still pisses you off. It's perfectly fine. You know you can be emotional. And be emotional. We're humans. It's okay. It's just the fact of you knowing that you can know you're being emotional. That's the biggest thing. So step 2, right, is regulate before you make another decision. Notice I didn't say don't feel anything. That's bullshit. You're human. You're going to feel. There's going to be times when you're mad, when you're frustrated, when you're disappointed. The goal isn't to magically make those feelings disappear. The goal is to not let a temporary emotion make a permanent decision. That's the lesson, especially for traders. If you're pissed off because you hit a stop loss, you probably shouldn't be clicking buttons immediately. Your heart rate is up, you're cussing at the screen, you're saying the market manipulated. It happens sometimes, but when you're saying it every single time, come on. And now suddenly you want to triple your contract size. Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't let you drive right now. Like, you're to that point. Emotions changes your perception. Emotion changes your perception. When you are angry, everything looks like an opportunity to fight back. When you are scared, everything looks dangerous. When you are desperate, everything looks like the answer. That's why you have to regulate. So I want to give you something practical. When you feel yourself getting emotional, just do this. Create distance. Create distance before making another decision. What do I mean by that? In regards for a trader, that literally means take your hands off the mouse. Stand up. Walk away from the screen. Get some water. Give yourself 5 minutes. Look at your trading plan again. That's what I mean by creating distance. For business, you got a nasty message, a nasty reply, customer told you no, prospect told you no, whatever it be the case. If you're in business, something happened that didn't go right. Maybe you don't immediately type a response you're thinking to send out, because a first draft might get your ass in trouble, right? Read it, walk away, come back, then respond. You need to understand that part, right? Like, argument with somebody you care about, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Sometimes winning the argument in the moment can cost you way more than simply shutting up for 10 minutes and coming back with a clear head. The point is not avoidance. I'm not telling you to avoid your problems and run away. We're not running away from the problems. You're making sure we are the one making the decision, not our emotions. That's the biggest thing where we're making sure of. Anger is not making the decision. Fear is not making the decision. Ego is not making the decision. No desperation. It's just you. That's emotional control. I think people misunderstand emotional control. They think somebody with emotional control never gets angry. Well, no, of course not. Somebody with emotional control can be furious, right? And still not do something stupid. That is strength. You can be scared and still follow the plan. You can be disappointed and still show up tomorrow. You can lose and still maintain discipline. That is the skill. So for step 2, now you know you regulate before you act. For step 2, regulate. We got rejection, we got regulate. We got both, right? Now, for step 3, last step 3, respond. And this is my favorite part. Not the most important, but it's my favorite part. Because this is where you stop sitting around and analyzing this forever, and it doesn't turn into a forever problem. So step 3 is respond with the next clean action. Not the next emotional action, the next clean action. And this is what I mean about it. After something goes wrong, people usually fix everything immediately. They're trying to erase the mistake, undo the loss, get your money back, make themselves feel be able to prove something. And this is where the second mistake comes from. So instead of asking yourself, what's the next best decision from here? No. Right? Not. So, how do I explain this to where it makes sense? I'm trying not to swear a lot because last time I got a little like penalization. So you instead of making that decision immediately. You need to ask yourself instead, what's the next best decision from here? Not like, how do I undo what happened? Because you can't. It happened. It's done. The money's gone. You lost it, but the person isn't. Like, you're still here. If a prospect, client, customer said no, right? The opportunity passed. The mistake was made. Okay, so stop trying to time travel. Your power is in the next decision. When you say you lost a trade, the next clean action might be something more like, let me journal the trade, check whether I followed the plan or not, wait for the next valid setup. Maybe your daily risk is done. So the next clean action is just shutting your computer down. That counts too. I say that a lot. Sometimes the best trade is a trade you don't take. I say that all the time. In business, right? Somebody rejects you. The next clean action would be talk to the next person. Not spend the next 3 hours trying to figure out why Timmy from high school left you on red. Who cares? Just next. Some will, some won't. Who cares? Next. You post something, social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and it flops. Nobody absolutely liked it. Nobody did nothing. Okay, so you learn, you adjust, and you post again. You missed a workout? Cool. The next clean action isn't going to be starving yourself the next day and not eating and then doing 10 hours of cardio. No, just get back on schedule. Do your normal workout, your normal food, move forward. That's maturity. And this is where people become dangerously good. Because when you become somebody who can recover quickly, failure loses a lot of power over you. When you recover quickly, failure loses its power over you. Why? Because you stop being scared of one mistake. Because you know now to say, hey, if something goes wrong, I know how to reset. That creates confidence. And we spoke about how important confidence is. Not fake confidence. Not, I'm going to win every single time. No, real confidence. Whatever happens, I trust myself to respond correctly. That's power right there. That is power. That's the way you need to speak to yourself. I speak all about time about motivation, especially about self-talk. I speak about manifestation all the time. That's cool. One thing is saying, I know I'm going to win every time. Another thing is saying, whatever happens, I trust myself to respond correctly. That is extremely powerful when you start speaking to yourself that way. So now we know what the third R is now. Now we have all three. We know how to apply this. But I want to teach you really quick what's the difference between a bad moment and a bad day, because people get that twisted all the time. I really want you guys to listen to me on this part, okay? You are allowed to have a bad moment. You are. You're allowed to hit a stop loss. You're allowed to get frustrated. You're allowed to mess something up. What I want you to stop doing, though, is turning that one little moment into your total identity. You lost, that doesn't make you a loser. You failed at something, it doesn't make you a failure. You made an emotional decision. That doesn't mean you're an emotional person forever. You had a bad training day. That doesn't mean suddenly you forgot how to trade. And the faster you learn how to separate what happened from who you are, the faster you recover. Because here's the truth. Some of y'all aren't fighting today's problem. You're fighting the problem that you had once 6 months ago. That's the truth. That's the truth. If that hits somebody, let me know in the chat. That's the truth. Some of y'all, and it could even be more than that, which is even worse. Y'all could be fighting one problem that happened years ago. Something small happens today, and suddenly every previous disappointment shows up to the meeting. It's like you walk in, you're like, okay, I had a problem. Let me meet this problem right now. And you open the door and you're expecting that one little problem, but you have 20, 30 problems in there. This always happens to me. Oh, here we go again. Damn. Nothing ever works. Whoa. Chill, bro. You hit one stop loss at 626 in the afternoon. Chill. How the hell did we go way back to what happened in 98? Like, chill. This is your brain stacking experiences together. Break that stack. Handle today, handle this moment, handle this decision. You got it? Everybody got that? Drop me some threes in the chat if everybody got that. That is very important because that's really where it gets difficult. Because, yeah, you're fighting one problem and it might be difficult, sure, but you could fight through one problem one on one all day. But once you start stacking a bunch of problems that happened years ago, that's not where it's at, guys. So we need to understand why it's so important as well to not be on those. Like I say, I know so many people from the future, right? Like, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Like, if you have an issue right now, you know the 3 R's, handle it right now so that doesn't stack up on you later either. You don't want to fight with all the past. You don't want to have to fight later on with stacked up problems. So let's put the 3R system together just to make sure that we have the full understanding before we end this call. Let's say something happens tomorrow, okay? Anything. You hit a situation and you start pulling into your emotional side. Here's what I want you to do. Recognize. Our first R, right? Recognize. What actually happened? Stick to the facts, remove the drama, remove the prediction, remove the identity. Just the facts and facts only. Customer said no. What happened? Customer said no. That's the facts. And then again, the questions, right? Okay, cool. How many people have I reached out to today? Okay, it's just been one. Cool. Supposed to reach out to 10. Move on. Did I use my pitch as I was trained to use? Did I present the problem right? You start asking yourself factual things that happened during that interaction for whatever reason that you were doing, either trading, selling a product, selling a service. Recognize. Once we've recognized, now we're going to go to the second R, which is regulate. Now that we regulated, ask yourself, am I in the right state of mind to make a second decision? Am I in the right state of mind to make the next decision? Just ask yourself that question and be real with yourself. Don't try to be all tough, macho man, superwoman. Oh yeah, I'm good. If you're not, just say no, damn it, and that's it. If you're not ready, create the distance. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, walk away, breathe, review the plan, get yourself back to neutral. Okay? Super important. Get yourself back to neutral. Once you're back in neutral and you're in the right state of mind, you are regulated, you're not emotional. Now we go to the third R, which is going to be respond. And you're going to ask yourself this simple question. What is the next clean action? That's not revenge. That's not panic. That's not ego. That's not desperation. It's what would be the best version of me that I want, that I'm working to be. What would they do next? Like, clearly at that point, what's their clean action that they're doing? Then do it. Just do it. If that's okay, I'm good, I'm ready, I analyze, I'm good to hit the charts again, then hit the damn charts. Hey, you know what? Cool, this client, prospect, whatever said no. Okay, call the next one. You're good to go. That's the system. Recognize, regulate, respond. That's it. Recognize, regulate, respond. Now, for my traders, just to make sure we're all where we need to be, I'm going to give you another example of this, but in trading. Okay? You enter a position, you hit stop loss. Immediately, you see the market move in the direction you originally thought it was going to. It happens, right? Now you're pissed. And those that trade with me, you know what I mean. I get pissed the hell off when that happens all the time. That little tiny little wick kicks me out and then it just dies completely where I want it to go. First, recognize what just happened. We want facts. I entered, I hit stop loss, price moved. That's it. That's it. You see how I didn't say the charts are against me, the market's against me, blah, 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 the strategy doesn't work, Brent's the word, well, none of that stuff, right? I just said what it was. I hit the sell button, I hit the buy button, I got hit by stop loss, the price then moved where I wanted to go. That's it. That's what happened. Did you follow your setup? Cool. Yeah, awesome. Was the stop loss according to the plan? Cool. Did you respect the risk? Good. Perfect. Answer those questions. Then, once you've answered those questions, you regulate. Am I angry? I want to re enter immediately. Okay. That means you're probably not a neutral yet. Hands off, step away, get that reset in. You're good to go. Now that you're neutral, you're good to go. And third, you respond. Is there a completely new setup here? Cool. It is. Evaluate it based on your rules and follow your plan. If there isn't, then do nothing. Notice something, right? The market doesn't owe you your money back. That's a hard one to really like. It's a hard pill to swallow, guys. For me, like genuinely, I'm telling you right now, when I hit a stop loss, it's like, oh, hell no. Like, that is my money. The market doesn't owe you money, guys. I don't care how long you've been in it. I don't care how many hours you put in it. I don't care what you do. That's just what it is. The market doesn't owe you nothing. And that's huge. A lot of revenge trading comes from this subconscious idea of no, that loss wasn't supposed to happen. Give it back. The market doesn't give a shit about you guys. Your job isn't to even be with the market. Your job is just to execute, and that's it in trading. That's it. That's all it's supposed to be. What's up, RJ? How you doing? In business, because I know a lot of people here are in business as well. You're selling products, you're selling services. You reach out to somebody, they said, no thanks, not interested. That's a good day, guys. Those that have been in sales, you know that typically doesn't go how it works. But let's just say you had a really good moment where they said, no thanks, not interested. Cool. You're telling me that you're not interested in setting a retirement plan for you and yourself and your child and your family? Awesome. You want to be on a shirt and a GoFundMe? By all means. Cool. You recognize. One person said no. That's it. That's all. Those are the facts. Nothing else. That's all the facts. You regulate. Did that rejection make you embarrassed? Did it make you want to stop reaching out? Okay. You acknowledge it, and now you respond. And what's that response? In sales, it's super easy. Who's next? What is the next conversation? What can I learn from the previous one without carrying rejection into the next one? Because if the first person rejected you, and then you approach the second person already expecting another rejection, you're not giving that second conversation a fair chance. You showed up carrying somebody else's no. Drop that. Those that are in sales right now on this chat, I've been in sales for all my life before trading, and that is one of the best tips that I could give you guys, is that if the first person said no, you cannot carry that no and expecting the next one to say no, because you're not giving that second person a fair chance. And if you're in business selling products and you're selling services, then you have something out there that people actually need. And that second person might have changed their life with that product, with that service. It could have saved them. And the way that you actually presented yourself was not fair for that person because you were dragging the other person's no. So you need to drop that. And that does happen in trading too. So for this week, guys, I want to give you another challenge. We did the last one, right? We did the 21 points. I don't know if you guys got the full 21 points. Hopefully you did. But now we're going to do a little bit of a different homework for you, right? Super simple. I want you to catch yourself one time every day using the 3 R's. That's it. That's simple. Just one time during the day. It could be something really big, something really small. Maybe somebody cuts you off traffic. Maybe you hit a stop loss. You have kids and they piss you off. Maybe somebody's new a message that you don't like. Maybe something happens at work. Maybe you look at your bank account and you immediately start stressing. Whatever it is, before reacting, recognize what actually happened. Regulate. What am I feeling right now? Do I need a minute before I respond? And respond. What's the next clean action? And here's the part I really want you to pay attention, because at the end of the day, right, write down the situation. Just one, and write it down. What happened? Write down your response. What was my first emotional reaction? Write that down. What did I choose to do instead? Write that down. Visually see that on paper. Do that for 7 days, guys. Between this Monday and next Monday, do it for 7 days. Because if you're trying to really become successful, then you have to really try to build awareness. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is catching yourself earlier. Maybe right now it takes you 3 hours to realize that you're spiraling. Then with this practice and knowing the 3 R's, we get that down to an hour. And then with time, it gets down to 20 minutes. And then it gets down to 5 minutes. Eventually, you recognize it while it's happening. That is growth, guys. And that's where I'm going to kind of make myself a little bit here sound good, right? A lot of people ask me, like, how is it that I'm good trading NAS the way that I trade it so fast, New York opening bell, one after the other? As soon as I hit a stop loss, I already hit my 3 R's in a matter of seconds to where I'm ready for the next one. That's it. That's it, guys. But we're going to close this off. I usually like to be around 30 minutes, and we're here at 37 minutes. So I got one last little part to tell you guys. What's up, Steve? So I want to leave you guys with this, okay? Your life is not determined only by the things happen to you. Your life is not determined only by things that happen to you. A massive part of your life is determined by what you do immediately after those things happen. You're going to have losses. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to get some things wrong, and that's it. People are going to be disappointed of you. Markets are going to humble you, that's for sure. Your business is going to test you. Life is going to hit you with shit that wasn't on your calendar. That part isn't optional. Attendance is necessary. But your response, that belongs to you. And one of the strongest skills that you can develop is the ability to say, okay, that happened. What's next? Not ignore it. Not pretend that it didn't hurt you. Not pretend that you're not disappointed. Recognizing it, regulating yourself, responding correctly. One bad decision does not require another bad decision. One loss doesn't require another loss. One rejection doesn't require quitting. One bad morning doesn't require a bad afternoon. One bad day doesn't require a bad week. You could stop the chain. And sometimes your biggest win of the entire day is not winning at all. And that sounds crazy, but that's what it is. Because a lot of times, in trading especially, the biggest win that you make in trading, sometimes trade that you don't even make. The sell you closed, the workout you finished, the money you made. Sometimes your biggest win is simply this. Okay, this can be the biggest win sometimes. And when you start accepting that, you'll see how things change. Something went wrong. The old version of you would have made the worst decision. But this time, you didn't. You caught it, you reset, you move forward. That is progress. So this week, when the moment comes, because it will, remember, recognize, regulate, respond. Most importantly, your next move matters more than your last one. Now you guys understand the title, right? Now you guys get the title. So, with that said, guys, thank you very much for another Mindset Monday. I will catch you guys next Monday, which will be the last Mindset Monday of the month. And we'll see if we continue these or not. But right now, this series, at least, has been in celebration of our year anniversary in the Secret Society. So if you guys need anything, you already know where to hit me up. You have all my socials. And until then, it's not about getting to the top, but it's about how many people you could bring with. So catch you guys at the top. Peace.